Well, I've done did it again. Needed a tiller. Because, you know, the construction that's been going on in my backyard it's gonna wreck it even more. And I love mowing my grass and everything. So, got on the old Facebook Marketplace, and would you know it? After scrolling down to the bottom, I found this Frazer Rototiller. Big history behind these. Get the model numbers in there. Made in Auburn, Indiana. This one was, at least. They were made in a few spots. But yes, Frazer, to some guys, you will know, that was a car company back in the day. This is a post-war, just after war design right here. 1946 to like up to the 80s, you could get these made. So many parts on them. This is a B1-6 engine, and it has some B1-7 parts on it, like the handlebar assembly and everything. It has compression, and I had to have it. Contacted the seller, no BS, straight up, I'm 2.5 hours south. He was up in Auburn, Indiana. Biggest reason why I got this, not because I want to annoy the neighbors, not because it's vintage. It's two-stroke. Yes, these are a two-stroke engine. 376cc. Only putting out, though, 5 horsepower. All the torque you're ever going to need inside of something. It is absolutely phenomenal. So, it's complete, minus the mag. But I can still get those. And that was another reason I got this tiller, is because there's a guy who, in 2012, bought out the last dealership place for parts for these, and now is in Warren, Indiana, south of Fort Wayne. And you can get new, old stock, refurbished, used parts, engines, you name it, from there. And I'm like, I'm sold. I mean, I could have got a Chinese built sheet metal one, but I wanted something where I can also take it to the show with me when I go, you know, to the Ileana show with my chainsaws. I could bring this, put it on a trailer, because what we're going to be doing here is not just going over it in the bed of my truck, but I got to unload it. And I'll tell you, loading it myself was not something that was happening. I had Carter help me. Yeah, unloading it myself is one thing, but Carter, the guy who sold it to me, super thank you, by the way. It took us 45 minutes to get into the bed of my truck and get it rotated around with ramps. And I had to do some redneck engineering to get it into it, using a redneck come along with 2 ratchet straps, one that would constantly tension and then one that was loose, and when one was filled up, you would tension the other one a little bit, undo the other one, and you just kept resetting it back and forth till we got it to where we get up enough to push it in. So now I went to Harbor Freight and bought a come along. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna get this thing turned around here real quick. Now, so they got their critter outside over there here. So we'll go ahead, we'll get this unloaded here real quick, and I'll probably, you know, show you the basics of what's going on when I get to that point. Don't try this at home. Okay, so I time-lapsed me setting it up, but my brother called me in the meantime there to let me know he was going to come over, because I was going to stop by and show it to him. Well, I'll put it this far. I got the tether hooked up, my come-along set up and whatnot, and went to go to give it some slack and then put the teeth back in. Well, the teeth on the on the come-along decided, oh no, we're not going to engage. And when I gave this thing a little push down the ramp, it took out all of the wire, and this thing almost hit the end of the ramp. Well, it got to the end of the ramp, and the little tiny part that sticks into the back of that crimps onto the cable came out of the drum, and I got an extra 3 feet of it going wee, but it got stopped before it went for the ground. But I still had the little dolly for it or whatever to, you know, for the engine, but it did its job. It kept the engine from scraping and stuff like that when finishing unload. But after that, brother's like, yeah, dad's getting discharged from the hospital today. He's got to go on dialysis, my dad. So went and visited for a while, so that's why the lighting looks a lot different. But all right, where was I on this? So yeah, going over it and everything. So I posted up some pictures in the group, and they needed to look at the type of coupler it has right here. I don't know if it'll zoom in. Oh, no, it doesn't zoom in. Of course not. No. So, anyways. Oh, no, I don't know. It's weird. I'm still, focus failed. I don't know. Either way, I still got some learning. But I got to get that. I was told it'd be cheaper just to get a whole new unit instead of, you know, trying to buy just that. But I'm not after getting a whole new unit. Of course, I don't have the space, but it's what they told me. Each individual one of these down here. So this is a clutch. If I get this to look here. This is a clutch, and each wheel has one. And when you disengage it, it helps it turn while it's running. So this is kind of a bougie model. I don't know if it has reverse, but over here, the selector, it has neutral, but I can go forward and I can go back. So, I don't know. And there's neutral right there. And then, of course, you have your other adjustments, up and down tilt and stuff like that. So, it appears that this is a B16 engine mounted to a B17 frame. And here's your levers for each one there. Yeah, push down on that and it disengages one of the clutches, which the left side disengages that. And so does that make the left side want to turn? I think that's what it's trying to get you to do. So, but you got your throttle control, which I think these are hooked up backwards too. Because I'm pretty sure your throttle, which this is the choke that's hooked up. The choke's over here. And you pull that, which it does pull, and it messes with the throttle. And the throttle's right here, but the choke is down here. So I think those are backwards, so somebody got that all messed up. But these originally came with Firestone tires. This has got Goodyears on it. That's fine, though. See, Goodyear right there. Should be a plate right here that tells how to operate it. I got the internet. There's your spring tines. Some people don't like them, but I think I will. So we're going to have a good old time with this. So, I'm pretty excited. And your on and off switch, there's like a contact button that's supposed to be here for this. And, well, it's missing. But so is the magneto. But we'll get that figured out. I'm going to enjoy this pretty good. Like I say, we'll get her figured out and whatnot. I wonder if there's a way to put up a decompression under here, like somewhere way up here. There we go. I'll have to manually move the camera. Put a decompression button like right there into the head, tap it in. Kind of curious about that. So, spark plug. These things were massive. Ugh. I had it out earlier. There we go. Get it out here for you. Pretty generous wire. Get caught on stuff. If this is the one for it, it wasn't burning too bad. So, I probably should shoot a little WD-40 down there. I'm pretty sure this has sat outside forever too. Just leave that a little loose. Your dipstick, Phil. for your gearbox, and if you need to fill it, then you took your pliers or your wrench and you took out that plug. To start these have a grease zerk here. To start these, you have to engage the starter dog while pulling on the handle to keep tension on it, and then the starter dog in here would engage. There's also an air shroud in there missing to help amplify the airspeed. Overall though, I mean, this thing's a pretty girthy little thing. But like I say, keeping this video short, like I say, and as you've probably been seeing in the background, the concrete pad is laid. Ooh, got tripped. The studs are in. But here's pretty much the layout's going to be is the window's going to be here. It's just like the old one. Window. There'll be no window on this side. So no kids to kick a ball through a window. I plan on putting a mini split AC unit right over where the bench used to be. Kind of the plan. I want to have a short-term and a long-term bench. So that's what's going on there. But figure that out. Toolbox somewhere, one or another. An air compressor in one of these corners. That's the plan. Just a big old air compressor that can sit, and I may inbox it in and have an air intake for it, and run some shop air, see what size what I do and don't need. Because I do want to try to run more air tools. And then up on the top, I'll have shelving that goes around for saws and for saws display. I'm not going to try to get all of them that I had, unfortunately, but I do want to try to keep this somewhat of a workshop kind of thing. And I do have a mini lathe on the way. I want to get another, a little mini mill, stuff like that, drill press, everything, just stuff to be able to work on inside, have enough of a project area. But it'll be fully insulated, 100 amp service, stuff like that. And I am doing a time lapse of this whole thing too, so I'll have a video in future after it's finished. We'll time lapse it, and then we'll do an official walkthrough and stuff of what's going on. And of course, I have a TV out here, but that's updates on that right now. Like I said, they did the pour and the cut lines in this in the same day. Started at 8 in the morning, and by 6:30 that evening, done. And then the next few days, it just rained. This is the first non-rain day on this. So, all right, I'm yammering. I can't wait to get started on this. Like I said, I'm just gathering up the project to get started. The motorcycle's sitting in the tent back there, which I need to fix. Hasn't fallen over, thankfully, but all right. Anyways, I'll say thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Like I said, thanks to those that have been watching the videos and pointing them out to other people to help out with and stuff. We will be getting back, obviously, as progress has been happening on this and everything and whatnot. I do plan to get this running, use it, restore it, and bring it to the Ileana show. I probably already mentioned that. And some saws and stuff and everything. So Dad's backyard needs to be done and everything. So this is going to be put to a pretty big workout. This is just a baby backyard back here. His is much, much bigger. So I do really look forward to running this thing and just absolutely enjoying it. It's not about the cost sometimes, people. It's about the enjoyment you're going to get and everything. I can imagine how many families this fed and whatnot, and how things just kept going and the history behind it, This is the true first rototiller name that there is. Everything else after this was a copy. So, all right. Till then, thanks for watching, everybody.